Conservative media needs to stop being a narrative for the coronavirus propaganda, and they need to start pushing for and pontificating the truth and the solution to end this nonsense. We are being surrounded by hysteria and serious, purposeful disinformation and propaganda that is absolutely scaring people and killing the economy. And our president is being ill-served by some of his so-called advisors and experts in this area. We've already pointed this out in previous monologues, and I don't want to have to keep reiterating the same points. But last night, Sean Hannity took, stupidity to a new level. He actually got schooled by the reincarnation of Half Pint. You remember Little House on the Prairie? Melissa Gilbert played Laura Ingalls, Half Pint. And she and Pa would have these talks and these moments, and, Pa was always so proud of Half Pint. Mary was the really good-looking sister, but Half Pint, she had the spunk, she had some wisdom, she knew stuff. She was Half Pint. Well, as the show wore on, kids grow up. They become less cute. And so the writers had to keep the show fresh, so they introduced Ma and Pa Ingalls to a couple of kids that they could adopt after a great crisis in their life of losing their own parents. Enter James and Cassandra. James, played by Jason Bateman, and his little sister Cassandra, who has grown up and is now a news analyst on Fox News. And last night, she appeared with Sean Hannity.
Starting tonight, all bars, restaurants, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut are only available for takeout service as the states work to limit the number of coronaviruses. For me personally, I know a lot of people that run small businesses. The fact that they've offered takeout, I'm in. You know what? I want to make sure that they're up and running and don't take that big a financial hit and are able to keep many of their workers working during this time.
No, I mean, so you saw what happened. The Federal Reserve last night lowered the rates to almost zero. But, Sean, as you noticed, the market tanked again today. We saw it close down almost 3,000 points. It was a massive move, and it is because of that scene that you just saw there with Rick Leventhal. See, when we all go inside and hibernate, when we come back out when this is over, we want those bars and restaurants to still be there. And that restaurant that's shuttered, yeah, they can do delivery and takeout, but you can see the folks inside, the waiters and waitresses, they're not working, they're not getting their wages, they're not getting their tips, and that business has to be able to make payroll, and that's what everyone's really worried about right now. And the moves that the Fed makes, that's not going to get to these restaurant and bar owners and small business owners for a long time. And anything that they're doing in Washington, if you put Congress in the middle of it, it's going to take forever. And that's why some people are arguing that the Federal Reserve needs to set up a line of credit right away to these very businesses that you're looking at on camera. If you can't make payroll this week, if you're not going to be able to pay your rent, whatever it is, so that you can go and not get a bailout, but get a line of credit, get a loan at a very low interest rate so that you can pay your people and not go out of business in the meantime. And that's the biggest concern. That's one of the things that's really scaring the market. The government has to get on top of that. I'm going to give you one thing to be optimistic about, though, Sean. Larry Kudlow. Okay, I sat next to him and co-anchored with him through the last financial crisis. He was always frustrated that there weren't enough creative pro-growth programs in place so that when you see this big move down, in economics they call it a V-shaped recovery. You pop right back up. You explode and grow on the other side, but you have to have the right people in place making the right decisions. And this administration, this president, is surrounded by those people. If they are let loose to do the kind of creative things we need, they need to think outside the box and do more than what's going on right now. Because I tell you, all those empty places, how are they going to make payroll? How are they going to pay their people? How are they going to pay their rent? How are they going to stay in business to be on the other side? And the ramifications of that are huge for this economy. They need to get on that, Sean, right now. You know who to call. Call them. Yeah. Get them in line. Tell them what to do. What do you think?
Okay. I love all of that, and I'm a big believer in Kudlow. I've always been a fan of his, and he's always understood Reaganomics, lowering taxes, increasing revenues to the government, opportunities. In the short term, I like the idea. Like, I have 4 restaurants. I'm a loser. I don't go to like 4 places. Let's see. Del Fresco's, everyone knows I go there.
Yeah.
Chris and Tony's, where I live, Rothman's, and La Pizzetta. All of them now are delivering. I tweeted out, oh, I'm so happy. Things are getting better. At least he keeps these businesses, small business owners. You know what? If we can, everybody goes a little above and beyond. If you want to patronize your favorite restaurants and they deliver it, all the better. But what about the tips for the guys inside, though? That's one of the problems. You know, the waiters and waitresses that would have been working there. I tip them the same anyway, whether they bring it or it doesn't matter. Tip them the same.
Sean, it doesn't matter if you go into these small little restaurants and you patronize them and walk out with your order. And I'm sure you do leave a nice tip. The truth is, though, a lot of these restaurants can't stay open because of the way they're set up and structured. And if they are open, you got a couple of people in the kitchen and one person at the counter. The waiters, the waitresses, the serving staff are not actually working right now. So they're not getting any tips right now. And all of this bloviated stimulus spending is all needless. It is nonsense. The real stats on COVID-19, otherwise known as the coronavirus, as of March 16th of this year, we had approximately 7,400 people around the world who have died from corona out of 7.8 billion. You do understand that means that this affects 0.0001% of the population. Let that sink in. What have we had? Less than 70 deaths here in the United States out of 350 million people. Our president is being ill-served by a community of experts who rely on crisis and our having a need for them to stay relevant and continue to be funded. And I'm sorry to put it like that, but that is exactly what's happening. We are watching our governors turn into little rogue dictators, forcing closures of businesses, and you will like it. His own medical advisory board is now telling the president, officially now through White House channels, that governors need to start heeding these suggestions as actual requirements. Really? So we're going to limit gatherings to 10 people? We're just going to walk all over the First Amendment? We're going to even tell that to churches now? Really? Really? You have taken away all distraction, all entertainment, and you just want people to focus 24/7 on impending doom and crises. Italy has decided they will simply let people who are 80 years old or older that have this infection die. Woohoo! Way to go for socialized medicine, which is what Bernie Sanders wants. What? If we had had Medi-Cal for all, this outbreak wouldn't have happened. What a buffoon. What a moron. Conservative media, you need to stop parroting the panic. As I listen to Glenn Beck, I can't help but get absolutely viscerally angry. Because he's actually making money off of this, which is sad and sick, by scaring people into buying their end-of-the-world food supply. We have grocery stores now segregating the shopping times of the elderly. Instead of encouraging people to, hey, be careful, take care of yourself, practice some common sense, look in on your elderly neighbors, make sure they have the things that they need. We are pushing people into isolation. And conservative media, I don't care if that's even coming out of official statements from the White House. You need to be sounding the alarm. And when we're warned that if we can't do this voluntarily, we will be coerced to do it, a threat of martial law, and you're not sounding the alarm, conservative media, that's a little disconcerting. We need to get on this and stay on this. This is actually affecting people's lives. We are killing not just the economy, we are killing our labor force, we are killing all the progress that has been made. And for what? Who's gaining from this? Follow the money. Come on, conservative media. What has set you apart from the lying legacy, corporate, corrupt mainstream media? Don't simply parrot the propaganda. Do your job. Hey, that's it for this little mini rant. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. We need to get the word out, and I thank you in advance for your help in that matter. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Make sure you have smacked the bell for notification of my next rant, and you gotta click the word all or you won't get it.